Knowledge Upon Precepts presents Simply Blossom Step by Step with your host, Kay Perkins. Hello, steppers, and welcome back to Step by Step. I'm your host, Kay Perkins. Today is all about perspective. What can I tell you about perspective? Well, if I had to sum it up in a few words, I would have to say that it's our point of view, how we view life, situations, and even ourselves. Perspective can be a double-edged sword. I know from my own experiences, sometimes how I perceive myself or how I view myself was really not who I really was. I can tell you countless times how I looked in the mirror and I found every flaw on my face, every wrinkle. I would look at a picture. Everybody would comment on Facebook or wherever it was posted and say how beautiful I was or whatever. And I could still look at that picture and find something wrong. The one thing that I really want you to know about perspective is that perspective can keep you in a prison. It can keep you from seeing yourself in the way that you truly are. It keeps you from seeing your potential, your ability to become who you were created to be. It puts you in a box characterizing you as something that you are not. Because it's my true belief that if you can see it or if you can perceive it, you can have it. And you want to align yourself with like-minded people that can help you to gain the tools that you need to get to where you're supposed to be, to help you to dream again, to reach for those things that you thought were impossible, and to help you to cultivate the life that you want to have and be healthy enough to enjoy it along the way. The second step in gaining a good perspective of who you are is learning to separate the things that you've done from who you are as a person. So often we allow life experiences and things that have been done to us and the things that we have done to define us and say we're a bad person, and we buy into those narratives, keeping us pigeonholed into this limited perspective of who we truly are and who we were created to be. These particular views of ourselves keep us from wanting to do better. It makes us think that we don't deserve to be better or we can never change. We just want to make ourselves suffer. We spend years punishing ourselves for things that we never should have even been thinking about. Perspectives change when you begin to forgive yourself for the things that you've done wrong, for the things you held on to. Forgiveness is for you. It helps you to let the past be the past and be open to new and brighter futures. The next thing that really impacts your perspective is if you're really in tune with what people think and feel about you. Everybody has an opinion on what you should do or who you are. But the thing is, you have to grow, you have to move and grow beyond what people think about you in an effort to reinvent yourself. Just because you never did it before, it doesn't mean you can't do it now. So from that point, you have to cultivate your own perspective of who you want to be, who you were created to be. Start to look at the positives in your life. Look at your gifts, your talents, the things that make you uniquely you. Begin to imagine how they can help you to be the best version of yourself. How taking care of yourself and have a healthier lifestyle can help you to do all the things that you dream to do. So when you begin to talk about changing your perception of yourself, the most common question that I get from people is, where do you start? Well, I think the best place to start is by trying to become more optimistic about life. So often, life has just run us down and beat us down, that all we have is this negative, jaded view of things. Often we accept the things that have happened in the past as our reality. My father had cancer. We had high blood pressure in our family. We have hereditary high cholesterol, and we make these things our reality. A good friend once told me that genetics loads the gun, but healthy living pulls the trigger. So just because those things were a reality for other people in our lives, it doesn't necessarily make it our reality. We can make changes to improve our quality of life, live better, do better, and even think better. It all begins with speaking life over your situations, and not just speaking it, but beginning to believe and to enact things in your life to make it a reality. From there, we start to work on our self-efficacy. You may say, Kay, what is self-efficacy? Well, self-efficacy is the belief in your ability to exercise control over specific events in your life. It's about being intentional. When you know that things have happened in your family for generations, it's making the decision that it ends with them. I will not suffer from this thing, nor will my children suffer from this thing. And as you increase your self-efficacy, it provides your brain with the ability to take power and exercise control over the areas of your life that you seem to be anxious about. Those inner fears that you have in the deep recesses of your heart that keep you confined and keep you from believing that there's better and that a new perspective will not change anything in your life. A new perspective comes when you take control. Control is a strong belief that you can make things happen. You have power to change your life situations. And once you believe that you have the power, you have to make a commitment. So often we say we want to change things, we want to do things, we want to be better than what we once were, but we lose the commitment along the way because the change doesn't happen overnight. We fall back into our own ways. And I don't believe that it's because we don't see the value in the change. It's just we are conditioned that we want everything here and now, this microwave society that we live in. But what we need to realize is that it took years for us to get this way, and it'll take years for us to learn a new way. And as you try to introduce a new way, it will be challenging for you to see anything else as normal. When you've experienced things all your life and it's all that you know, everything else seems strange. But new perspective only comes when you challenge yourself to believe new things. And so that requires you to be exposed to people that don't think the way you think, reading things from different people's perspective, and even just receiving the word of God as the truth for your life. Because so often people read the Bible as a story and not as a guide to help in implementing change in your life. New perspective grows out of comprehension. As you begin to comprehend things, you gain a strong ability to accept it as your reality, as a way of life, as a norm. And these new patterns become meaningful to you as a person. It becomes a part of your life. It becomes a part of your belief system, and it helps you to challenge the things that you know as normal and to keep moving forward. It makes these changes become more manageable because you begin to see that there is a better way, there's a more excellent way, and that your perspective on life is not bleak. It should not be bleak. It should be full with positivity and hope, because you'll see these new things taking place in your life that the new perspective brings. Perspective begins with going deeper in yourself, understanding that you are more than a conqueror. You have the potential to do great things. It's moving beyond the boxes that people have put you in to keep you trapped in mediocrity. It's the ability to step out on faith and believe what God says about you as a human being. It also deals with your ability to accept the things that you don't understand about yourself, or the things that you felt were wrong or that plagued you in your life, and trying to get a perspective on those things that God created me this way for a reason. All of these different things that I have going on in my life deal with a perspective. All of these things that are part of who I am or that make me who I am is a part of God's plan and how He created me. And they have a purpose. And when you find that purpose, your perspective changes because you see your worth and your value in the things that make you different from everybody else. So I challenge you today to step out in faith and move beyond your current perspective. Dare to dream, dare to imagine, dare to look beyond the everyday, the things that you have been taught over the years, and venture out to learn something new. You never know. The things that separated you from everybody else, making you feel like you stood out like a sore thumb, are the things that are going to bring you into greatness. So until we meet again, start to see yourself as God does and embrace your differences, because God made you you for a reason. So until we meet again, continue pressing towards the mark of the high calling and take it step by step. Be blessed.